really more of it's kind of an educational show, so it covers the timeline of the tradition of carving in New Mexico. So it starts as early as about 1795 and moves on and transition and explores the different styles. For example, the Cordova carvers, starting with Jose Dolores Lopez in the late 1800s, and then we have, of course, the Barella Carvers, starting with Patrocino and going on through with the family there, as well as the Salazars, starting with Leo Salazar and working our way through there. And then moving on to also the sort of the traditional contemporary styles that are out there. So we'll have good examples of carvings of the traditional sort of methods that are going on, and then more sort of progressive traditional, as well as moving on to social and political commentary, and how it's kind of evolved that way. And again, exploring those styles as well, because some people work more in a little bit of a folk style, if you will, such as Nicolas Herrera or Marie Romero Cash, right. Or we'll have some of the early commentary people such as Luis Tapia, and now his son Sergio Tapia, who are both great carvers, so their style is very different. Basically it goes through that entire progression. It'll be about 30 pieces or so. We'll have a timeline that sort of explains it all. There's a bit of a family play into it, because there is a certain amount of family tradition, particularly with the Cordova carvers. We have George Lopez, and we'll have a Sabanita and a Gloria Lopez, who are the grandkids. And of course, it's hard to cover everyone. There's a lot of artists that are, within this field now that we're trying to touch on some of the key players. A lot of the artists had made real efforts in helping this art form progress. People like Charlie Carrillo, for example. But we're focusing strictly on carvings, three-dimensional stuff, not really anything that's two-dimensional like the retablo. So that's why we're calling it Northern New Mexico Carvers, because it also explores pieces that are not necessarily religious, and we have a lot of great pieces. For example, from Carlos Barella or Daniel Rael, who are associated with the Barella family, who do a lot of work that's really very sculptural, but not necessarily religious. That's true for Luis Tapia as well as Sergio Tapia, and we have Nicolas Herrera, who's out of El Rito, very well-known sort of what they kind of called outsider art or folk art. He's really one of the top guys. Mm-hmm. So basically, we're just going to explore the transition of all of that. It's nothing, that's sort of shockingly new, but I think to keep it sort of fresh and sort of keep educating people on subject matter of the tradition, which is really unique to New Mexico as far as the United States is concerned. New Mexico and southern Colorado. It doesn't really happen anywhere else where the tradition is really followed through for close to 400 years, and so we'll give examples of other places where you can see a lot of this stuff. Of course, the local churches that we have, mainly within the Taos area. Of course, the Millicent Rogers has some good pieces, as well as the Martinez Hacienda. So it'll kind of, again, it'll sort of spread it out as far as educating the public, or where you can, see some of the stuff and, sort of learn a little bit more about it. So and that'll include some studio tours. There'll be lectures, of course, as well as part of the whole thing. So we'll see how it goes.